Time's expired. The gentleman from New York, Mr. Lawler, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Apparently, my colleagues seem to think that the number of hearings we hold translates to actual legislation passing. In the last Congress, there were roughly 55 hearings on housing and housing affordability, and yet 0 bills were enacted into law under Build Back Better or the IRA that the former chair of this committee was pushing for. These bills so bad that even the Biden administration rejected them. And yet now we're dealing with a 20-year record high on mortgage interest rates. New York City has 50,000 vacant units, in part because of its draconian rent control laws and the laws passed by the state legislature that require these units to be brought up to code. Taxes go up, energy costs go up, and yet they're arbitrarily capped at what they can charge in rent. And so what happens? They choose to leave it vacant and take the tax write-off instead. Bang up job, good policies. These are really working out well. We have 6 million units underbuilt. Well, how do you meet the supply need when the cost of living is through the roof, the cost of doing business is through the roof, the cost of goods and cost of construction, and the cost of energy? All driven by horrifically bad policies when Democrats had complete control of Washington, complete control in Albany, complete control in New York City. And yet they're shocked that we have a housing crisis and that we have an affordability crisis. Maybe we should consider changing our policies. Maybe we should look at how to reduce the cost of living, reduce the cost of construction, reduce the cost of doing business. I don't know, maybe actually increase domestic production of energy. That might help. No. Why would we think about this logically? So when I hear my colleagues complain about the number of hearings, my God, stop worrying about the number of hearings and start worrying about the actual damn laws that we're passing. That's a better idea. Housing affordability is a persistent challenge. With mortgage rates at multi-decade highs, limited supply, and continued supply chain and construction issues, for many, it is the most difficult time to purchase a home in a generation. The market is further complicated by the extraordinary circumstances of many homeowners unable to sell their home for fear of losing their low fixed-rate mortgages obtained prior to the rapid increase in interest rates. These, among other factors, have forced many potential homebuyers into the rental market, driving up rental demand and prices with it. In Rockland and Westchester counties, in my district, according to the National Association of Realtors, the monthly cost of a mortgage is $1,000 more today than it was last year. And in Putnam and Dutchess counties, it is at least $800 more per month. In both instances, these are additional housing costs of almost $10,000 or more a year. For many families, it is totally unsustainable. So this topic is critical, which is why last month I held a comprehensive roundtable discussion in my district on the housing issues that have significantly affected the local area, and which included a diverse group of stakeholders, elected officials, government agencies, nonprofit organizations, and key figures from the real estate industry, including developers and realtors. While there are some existing efforts that should be improved and expanded upon, such as the Affordable Housing Tax Credit, we need to be working to remove the governmental barriers that drag approvals out for years, drive up costs, and disincentivize the investment and participation our constituents need. It's been mentioned a number of times, the impact of regulation on the cost of housing and the incentivization of building and the flawed attempts of government to intervene on this topic. This has been at the forefront of New York in the last few years as we've seen a blend of heavy regulation with ham-fisted attempts by the governor to circumvent regulation with unrealistic, arbitrary mandates to build housing in areas that don't have the requisite situation to do so, including a lack of infrastructure. We have to look at this holistically, and we need to change course. These policies are not working. With that, I yield back.
Thank the gentleman. The gentlewoman from Michigan, Ms. Tlaib, is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you all so much for being here. We already know the average renter now pays